What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. In today's video, we're going to go over the USS Massachusetts, a Tier 8 USN battleship, a premium battleship coming to World of Warships. And just a small disclaimer that this is a work-in-progress ship, so stats are not finalized, the ship is not finalized, and it's not released yet. But this is a quick little preview of the ship. And my mistake, I accidentally had the Alabama selected. Let me click over to this ship. That's completely different in the USS Massachusetts. Oh wait, it's not. Yes, I know their sister ships are supposed to be very similar, but this is going to be kind of the problem I have with this ship when it comes to being in the game because of what the Alabama is, what the North Carolina is, and now what the Massachusetts is going to be. So let's dive in quickly to the stats. Now this thing is getting the in the CC world, it's a clone. It's not a clone. It's this. It's that. We'll compare the stats, and I'll kind of get into my look on this ship and what I kind of think about this ship. So the Massachusetts, which we're going to compare basically directly to its sister ship, the Alabama, which is already in the game, a premium Tier 8 battleship, as well as North Carolina, which is just a bigger version almost of these two battleships, with these being South Dakota classes. The Massachusetts has a little bit more life, about 3,000 more life, and a little bit less. We're going to look at about 4 different values, and that's about it, because everything else is almost identical. Massachusetts is going to have a little bit more life, about 3,000 more. The torpedo protection is 48% instead of the 50% that the Alabama has. The range is 23.5 instead of, I believe, 21.1. So you get about 2.5 extra kilometers. If you've ever been in North Carolina, though, that's not really gonna mean much. Anything really outside of 20 kilometers with the arcs that these ships have isn't unhittable, but that is definitely not a selling point in my opinion. Yes, you will be going with Tier 8 matchmaking up against Tier 10s. To me, that's not a selling point. Hey, I can hit something at 23 instead of 21. That's not going to do much for me. Now, one thing it does have a little bit better is the mid-range AA, since it does have the big Bofors, which the Alabama does not. You are going to have, well, actually, the Alabama does have the Bofors. It's the extra other calibers, which you can see right here. It does have a little bit better mid-range AA, which is going to help you with that 5-ish kilometers. This is with AFT and the module. This is going to help you a little bit surviving maybe knocking down one extra plane when it comes to this, knocking down a couple extra planes when they're coming in. So you do have a little bit more of a survivability when it comes to that mid-range AA. With 191 for the Alabama, and then for the Massachusetts, you're pretty high at 238 for damage per second for your AA for the mid-range. So you do have that. I guess that's a little bit different for this ship. Maneuverability is exactly the same, and I guess the last little bit is you are a little less, or your detectability is a little bit higher with 12.2 for the Alabama with the concealment expert captain, and 12.4 with the Massachusetts. Other than that, it is 100% the same damn ship. Now, if you've ever played the North Carolina and then you play the Alabama, in my opinion, they play very, very similar. Now, if you've ever played the Alabama and then you've played the Massachusetts, there's no difference to these ships, and that's my problem. One of the biggest things I look for in premium ships is something that sets it apart from something else in the game. So stuff like the Perth and the Scharnhorst and even the Atlanta and these other ships that make a unique play style are something I look for in ships when people ask me what's a good premium to pick up, and do you recommend this premium, is it worth it? And you even saw that with the North Carolina and the Alabama. I think the Alabama and the North Carolina play very differently. You can be a bit more aggressive since it's a smaller, more agile ship. You can take more torpedoes in the North Carolina. There is some differences there. Another great example of something that was very similar yet different is kind of like the Amagi versus the Key. It's a completely different ship, although graphically it looks almost identical. So this is kind of the first situation that has really been like this at this tier of matchmaking, in this tier of ships. We had seen another similar situation at tier 8 though, with the Prince Eugen Hipper, and what that was basically a premium version, a tier 8 premium version of a ship that was already in the game, which was the Hipper, and Prince Eugen just being a premium version of that. We've never really seen something like this, I guess, since the Kamikaze R Fujin, which was, the Kamikaze R was a tier 5 IGN destroyer. which at the time the Kamikaze R, the Fujin, and the Minakaze were all almost identical. Two were premium, one of the premiums was blue, and one was red. And when I'm doing pretty broad strokes here with these ships are identical, these ships are the same. Yes, I know some of the values are different. When I say these things are identical, I get that the mass can shoot 2 kilometers farther. I get that, and but bear with me a little bit through this video. So the Fujin and the Kamikaze were basically the same ship. One was red and one was blue, but that was a tier 5 destroyer, so the purchase price was a little bit different. One was actually a ship you could get for free at a limited time through a big community event, and then he ended up selling it later. This is the first time we've ever seen 2 premium ships that are basically the same at this tier, and the reason I'm bringing that up is just because the price point is so much higher. Now, I understand the historical aspect of these ships, being that this is a very historic class. These are historic battleships. There's a lot of fans behind this. These are very well-known USN battleships. I get that part, but from the point of view of a content creator and recommending ships like this is the one that's a little tricky. It's you start playing this, and really when I'm going through my game footage, I don't have many games with this ship, because when I played this ship, I didn't see anything that made it fun to play a lot of games. You know, it's like, I have played this ship. I've played a lot of games in North Carolina. I've played a lot of ships in the Alabama. So going to another ship that's basically the exact same thing, I think I've played 3 games in this because, well, I think I've seen this ship before. What am I going to get unique out of this? You know, if I'm going to play the Amagi, then I'm going to play the Key. Those ships are going to be very, very different when I play them, and that's my biggest kind of problem with this. Now, Wargaming hasn't announced how they're going to be selling this ship, or how they're going to be distributing this ship, or anything like that. I'm hoping that this ship isn't one that's just straight up purchased through the premium shop. It very well could be. I just don't think that that it's going to be worth it at all, because, you know, it is in Alabama. You know, I think out of the 2, I think that Massachusetts is going to be a little bit better, because it does have some values that are kind of nicer. One thing I could see them do is potentially doing another version of the free XP. I'm not exactly sure if they will do that, though, since they have done a tier 9 with the Missouri Iowa, which is another great example of 2 ships that are both premium ships, but they're different. You know, the Missouri plays different than the Iowa, so we will see. I'm hoping that they do. I think this would be a very cool ship to do a campaign through, but I could also see the backlash in that of the entirety of, well, I paid X amount of dollars for my Alabama, but I could have gotten one for quote-unquote free, or through the free XP with the recent events and the new flags. It's very, very easy to get free XP. So I could see the backlash of kind of every situation when it comes to how they want to distribute this. I would like to see something cool of maybe doing maybe they start doing like a hybrid of stuff where it's do an entire campaign and then you get a discounted price on this with buying it through doubloons or something like that. That might be kind of cool, like buying it through the tech tree. If you don't, it's a certain price, but if you finish a campaign, maybe I just gave Wargaming a great idea. I don't know, but I would like to see something like that than just a straight up, this costs X amount, because this kind of rubs me the wrong way when it comes to premium ships, because you're bringing nothing to the table when it comes to this ship, right? Because it's just so similar, and I like seeing different things when it comes to premium ships. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to just bash the Massachusetts at all. I almost call it the Alabama. The Massachusetts is a great ship. You're gonna be if you don't have a premium tier 8 battleship, this thing is definitely worth grabbing because it's very, very good. You're gonna be a smaller, more agile, basically North Carolina. That's what you are. And so if you enjoy North Carolina play like I do, this is a perfect way to kind of get more credits, get more experience, train battleship captains, train captains in general. They don't have to be battleship captains. The USN line. This is a great ship to do that in because it's so much fun to play and because it's strong. The problem lies with, do you already have the Alabama? Then the Massachusetts is an easy pass. And I could also see Alabama owners being a little angry with, well, I bought this ship for $40+, and now there's a better version of this ship. You know, I guess, slightly better, but I guess there is technically a better version now because it has a little bit better mid-range AA, and it has a little better survivability. And really, the only thing that the Alabama that is bringing to the table that has better than the Massachusetts is a better torpedo belt, and it's only by 2%. So I guess a little bit of tactability as well, but really that's it. So if you're asking me, is this ship good? It is good. Is this ship worth picking up? Only if you don't have a premium ship and you have the pockets to pick up a tier 8 premium, then yeah, pick it up. It's going to be fun. You're going to have fun. Now the problem here lies if you already have the Alabama, and then definitely it's a hard pass on that, since there's nothing new, and everyone likes to see a Kagero at 4 kilometers pop up. Luckily, my team was on top of it, and he already launched his torp, so that was good. I'm also showing off the AA for this ship, which can be very solid because it's a USM battleship. One main thing too is I'm hoping this isn't kind of a new thing that Wargaming is going to be doing with premiums. Now I know that we're going to start kind of running out of unique things, which is kind of what Wargaming's tried to do. They try to get very gimmicky with their premium ships. They like to add unique, and I think they've done a fantastic job for most ships in the past. With like even Royal Navy battleship lines, they've done a pretty good, you know, trying to make a gimmicky thing, and some has backfired. But you know, to a point, there's going to be a lot of ships that are very famous. There's a lot of history behind these ships, and with kind of running out of unique little things to do with these ships, I think we're going to start running into this. So I think Wargaming is going to have to get kind of, I guess, creative with how they sell these ships and how they do it. And I don't think Wargaming is just going to go and give away a bunch of stuff. But honestly, when you're designing this ship, you literally copy pasted the Alabama, and then from there you added a couple AA mounts, and you changed a couple values in the computer, and you printed out the Massachusetts. That's honestly what we're looking at right now. So I hope this isn't a pattern for World of Warships. And like I said, I'm not trying to just bash this ship. Is this ship a good ship? Yes, it's very, very good. But this ship is already in the game with the Alabama. That's the thing. That's the problem with this ship, is it's literally already in the game. If you've ever played North Carolina and you play the Alabama or the Massachusetts, you're gonna see it's very, very, very similar, play style wise. And then when I played this, it's just like, okay, I've played this ship before. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting. When I go and play the Atlanta and then I go and play the Flint, there's something different. When I go and play the USS Kidd, which is now work in progress as well, and then I go and play the Benson or the Fletcher, there's different plays there. So this is kind of the first one I'm seeing really like this since kind of the Fujin Kamikaze R. Just the downside of that situation, or this situation compared to that, is the tier difference. You know, you have a tier 8 battleship, which is the most expensive class premium-wise in the game, as well as you have a tier 5 destroyer, which is the cheapest class. So it's a little easier, you know, a little bit easier pill to swallow, I guess, at that, especially for somebody's wallet. So that's basically it. The rest of this game is just me getting burned down by Kutuzov. If you've ever played a battleship, you definitely know that. All in all, this ship is good. It's a good ship. With its long-range ability, you can then up-tier a little bit better. But I'm seeing people try to sell this 23-kilometer range, and that means nothing. It honestly means nothing. If you're a North Carolina, and if you're a tier 8 battleship and your prime targeting, you're not going to cash in from that 21 to 23-kilometer range. That's not where you're going to be like, yeah, this is where this ship kind of shines. It doesn't. Your travel speed is insane. At 10 seconds, 15 seconds for a 15-kilometer shot, you know, that's at 15 kilometers. So you're adding, you know, 5-8 kilometers more to that. That's not a big selling point in my opinion. I don't think that's the reason to really pick up this ship over the Alabama. I do think this is a better ship to pick up if you don't have any of them. But if you have the Alabama, this is an easy pass for you guys. I'll be honest. You're gonna get nothing new out of this ship. It plays exactly the same. You could honestly just randomly pick one of the two ships, and you would not know the difference. So, is it a clone? Sure. It's not a clone. Sure, we'll go with that if you guys want to. It has some values that are different. Is it a clone? No. Is it exactly the same? Yes, for layman terms, yes. So that's my quick work in progress review for the ship. Like I said, guys, there is no real word on how this will be sold or how this will be given out or anything like that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys kind of think about the USS Massachusetts / Alabama situation, and what you guys kind of think about the premiums and these two potential premiums. That's it for me, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.